We're down to the final four for both divisions. This is the championship tour, two of the best ever going to battle in this first heat for a spot in the final. Stephanie Gilmore, six-time world champ and current world number one, takes on Carissa Moore, a three-time world champ from Hawaii. Hawaii versus Australia. This is as good as it gets on the main stage on finals day in front of thousands of people on the pier, on the beach. A battle to kick off the first wave. Remember, no priority established at the start. You just have to get position, both fired up to get it. And Steph slips off after committing to that paddle battle. Something that she mentioned she doesn't like to deal with. Ends up going for it, falling. Advantage Carissa.
And you had a nearly mistake-free heat on your top score, your 777, after those three big blasts out the back. We were talking, you were actually thinking about kicking out. You decided to ride it through, you ended up falling. How important is it to commit to your waves?
Yeah, I did those three turns and they felt good, so I was like, well, I think I've already got a 7 here, so I'm gonna kick out. But then something right at the end told me, like, no, just finish it. Like, who knows what's going to happen at the end of the heat.
That mistake that she made early on when she disengaged the fins and fell off that wave, but on her forehand, Steph has been solid all week. So Steph gets that one maneuver out the outside, even doing the foam climb to keep that speed maintained through this inside section, S-ing through, staying with that whitewater section. But here, this is so important. She touches the face as she does that bottom turn in order to stay low and really projects out.
So solid finish there. Carissa's looking to get started. See that chop on the face. Able to fight through it for an opening turn. That was that bobble on the face that took out Steph on her opener. You can see all the ribs in the open face now into a cleaner section. She'll just redirect. Little bonus backside hack. And she won't get credit for it. That was a nice little surprise. That's what's so neat about reforms at Huntington.
Similar situation. We saw her fall off a few times on the inside. But Carissa, watch the chop on the face, and that's really hard to deal with. That's kind of coming up at you, and you've got to kind of really negotiate it while you're riding. You kind of want to set your rail, and all of a sudden you get redirected. But Carissa does so well right there to redirect, goes right, gets up into that lip, and then just as she's at the finishing line, Joe, just gets backed off of her board. The judges want to see you finish these maneuvers on your feet, ride out that whitewater, and make it apparent that you made that move.
But with Carissa, it looks like she's just been finding more and more motivation to get back on the podium as she's chasing her 20th win of her career. Gilmore deep on this one. Whitewater section she'll use well to blow the tail out. And now a nice little read into the reform. Always makes it look easy. There's that S-ing move to get this bonus inside track. And a clean float to get out of there.
Great way from Stephanie Gilmore, turning nothing into something. That was such a cool first turn that Steph was able to kick out of that little bit of a crumble. And love to see her work it all the way to the inside and finish it off. Steph kind of go down. We saw Carissa. She's opened up with a 3.67.
And looks like we'll have a ride for our surfer from Oahu. Little fade and cut back. She'll fade it once again, and now she's just relying on an inside section. A 5.33 or better gets her the lead. Open face hook from Carissa Moore. End section, she'll tap it shut. So great decision making for Carissa on the tail end of that ride. She made it look easy, but that was a fairly difficult read on that inside corner.
Carissa, great way to answer back when she's requiring that 5.33. Will this be enough to see her into the lead? She had a lot of downtime to get around that whitewater section. Throws it on rail. You see a flash of her fins there. So you see she's digging deep, but then just S-ing back to that power source, staying with the whitewater. Then this is where it starts to open up. Carissa just stabs that board back into the whitewater, then hits that oncoming section. So
both have world champ versions of that rail game for good reason. And it's just great to see that little subtle difference with their style and approach as we look at Carissa Moore staying light on her feet out the back. Feels her way back into the pocket. All setup work. She's really relying on a big bonus section to open up. She has the speed and she's gone the distance. End section approaches, clean vertical to get out of there. So now waiting on two numbers here in this first semifinal. And Gilmore's just been patient with that priority roll. Carissa playing a serious comeback in this semifinal.
Wave, go back out, find another one. You know that Steph's already got priority out the back. Still that little bit of lump and bump to contend with. So Carissa starting to get that rail moving. You've got to be so quick and light, just able to kind of redirect that board any way you like. But that inside section, that's where you make that dynamic impression on the judges.
And so these are the key moments when we look forward to seeing two legends of the sport in the water together in the prime of their life.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying this. And Carissa has done so well, not only taking the lead, but bettering both her scores.
And she's up again. Gilmore has right away. So Steph flying into the screen, needs a 5.57 to get her lead back. She's got a lot of speed, a big section, hacks it shut. So a quick answer from Gilmore. Like you said, Rosie, Carissa did improve on that last, just a touch, a 4.97. So 3.67's out of there.
Waves aren't particularly long, but there's a lot of energy. It's exhausting, putting everything you have into these maneuvers. We didn't get to see this outside move, so big turn there off the top for Stephanie Gilmore. Can't help but think about that lump on the face, though. Holding her back just a touch, but still inside connection. Lands it on her feet.
Gilmore was needing a 5.57 on that answer. More room to move out the back for Carissa. Fun looking wave. Already a ton of speed, straight up vertical on the outside section. And now just hanging in there, not having to move too much because that whitewater's shoving her all the way through the inside. Clean wrap. Out in front, wraps it again. And she'll get out of there on the inside corner. Waves are looking fun on finals day. They're getting a lot of opportunities once we pass that 10-minute mark.
I love it, that last bit of flurry to see things heat up, to watch these ladies go wave for wave. Then Carissa on her forehand. There's something about this wave, there's just a little bit of a misstep. There's a missed time for Carissa where she's just getting held back a tiny bit, almost loses it there. Regathers herself. Love the way that she controls that rail through the flat sections and then goes for this maneuver here just to mix it up a little bit. That shore pound, we've seen surfers get taken out at the knees.
So now Carissa down the line with the momentum, clean off the top wrap. Fading deeper in the pocket, looking inspired. Getting her lead back off Gilmore into the final minute. Looks like she's got a double up with the momentum to flow for the finishing move. Carissa is really fired up to close this one out. Gilmore needing a 5.26 at least in the final minute. We'll see if Carissa just fit a new score in her top two.
Hey, Joe, do you see that going there? And then Carissa, this is the 5.93. So she was able to improve her situation. Beautiful turn on the outside for Carissa. So like we said, she can just lay it down, lay it over on that rail. A lot of power. And then finishes on her feet. Critical wave, improves her situation. Now Steph, the wave that we saw previous, requires a 5.77.
More with 45 seconds. A ton of whitewater to deal with. She didn't like it, so she's got to get out of there. She'll have an outside position and managing the clock well. She's trying to give herself one more shot. Intensity of the title race. World number one in trouble. Gilmore, quick wrap into the pocket. Beautiful open face. She'll wrap it one more time. Needs something big on the inside. Pushes harder on the cutback. Playing catch up to the finish and gets a nice tight forehand jam.
Little finger click claim.
Not bad.
This is tooth and nail to the bitter end. Both of these ladies knowing they have to give everything they have.
5.93. So Steph needs a 5.77 on this wave.
That's right. That first turn, a little bit of a catch of the rail. Tries to rectify it there with the cutty maneuver. Lays in on that rail, so a bit of variation. Finishes strong, a 5.77.
Scores in for Stephanie Gilmore, a 6.17. Gets it at the buzzer. World number one into the final of the Vans US Open of Surfing. And Carissa Moore left chasing a 5.85 when it's all said and done. Those are the kind of heats you want to see out of the world champs of the sport, going blow for blow all the way till the horn sounds.
Two of the all-time best just bringing it to the sand. Decision made. Stephanie Gilmore moves through.